Don't judge someone's worth by the clothes they wear. Sometimes, the quietest person in the room holds the loudest truth. That's how this story begins, and ends, with a lesson that will stay in your heart long after you hear it. If you're here, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because what happens next might just restore your faith in humanity. It was a cold morning when Maria stepped into the courthouse, her trembling hands clutching a wrinkled piece of paper, the summons that accused her of theft. She was a maid, barely surviving paycheck to paycheck, cleaning houses of the rich to send her daughter to school. But that day, she wasn't just poor, she was painted as a criminal. The man accusing her was a powerful millionaire, Edward Grayson, known in the city for his wealth and arrogance. He claimed she stole a diamond bracelet worth thousands. Maria had no lawyer, no support, only her truth. Inside the courtroom, whispers filled the air. People glanced at her torn shoes and worn dress with pity, or disgust. She stood alone before the judge, tears fighting to stay hidden. Edward smirked confidently, surrounded by expensive lawyers. She's lying, he said. I have proof. But in that silent courtroom, sitting quietly at the back, was a man few noticed, Daniel Reed. A single dad, veteran of the Marines, who'd come not as a lawyer, but as a janitor for the courthouse. His uniform was faded, his eyes tired, but behind them lived a mind sharper than anyone knew. Daniel had seen Maria cleaning offices late into the night. He'd seen her save coins to buy food for her daughter. He knew honesty when he saw it. And something about this trial felt wrong. He watched the millionaire's lawyer flash documents and videos that didn't quite add up. Daniel had once been a military analyst, trained in reading patterns and catching lies. As the trial dragged on, Maria could barely speak. Every word from the lawyer cornered her deeper into hopelessness. You were alone in the mansion that night, the lawyer said. No cameras, no witnesses. Maria's voice trembled. I didn't take it. I swear on my daughter's life. Edward laughed. People like you always say that. The courtroom chuckled, everyone but Daniel. Something inside him snapped. He stood up, his voice firm but calm. Your Honor, permission to speak. The judge frowned. Who are you? Daniel walked forward. Daniel Reed, maintenance staff. But before that, I served in military intelligence for 15 years. And I believe this woman is being framed. The courtroom went silent. Even the millionaire's smirk faded. Daniel requested to examine the so-called proof. Reluctantly, the judge allowed it. Daniel studied the footage Edward's lawyer presented, a security clip showing Maria entering the jewelry room. But his trained eye caught something subtle. The clock in the corner of the video had a different timestamp from the system time. The video was spliced. He turned to the judge. This video's been edited. Look at the reflection in the mirror behind her, the light is from a different day. The courtroom gasped. Daniel continued, if you check the staff log for that night, you'll see Maria clocked out before this was recorded. He looked straight at Edward. Someone wanted her blamed. Someone inside your house. The judge ordered a verification. Minutes later, the bailiff returned, confirming Daniel's claim. The logs proved Maria wasn't there at the time. Edward's lawyer began to sweat, and soon, the truth cracked open. It wasn't Maria who stole the bracelet, it was Edward's own nephew, trying to pay off gambling debts. Maria fell to her knees in tears, hands shaking, whispering prayers of relief. The judge dismissed the case, and the entire courtroom turned silent, ashamed of how easily they believed a lie. As people began to leave, Daniel walked to Maria and handed her a small folded note. Inside, it read, You're stronger than you think. Never let fear silence your truth. Maria hugged him tightly, unable to speak. You saved my life, she whispered. Daniel smiled faintly. You saved it yourself. I just reminded them to listen. Months passed. Maria rebuilt her life, now managing a small cleaning company of her own. She often saw Daniel and his little daughter at the park, feeding pigeons. She'd bring them sandwiches and sit with them, the three sharing quiet smiles born of shared struggle. One afternoon, Maria found Daniel sitting on a bench, lost in thought. You never told anyone what you did for me, she said. Daniel chuckled softly. Some truths don't need to be shouted. The right people see them. The camera would fade out there, on the image of a humble man and a grateful woman, proof that heroes don't always wear uniforms or carry medals. Sometimes they wear old shoes and carry kind hearts. So if you've ever felt small, unheard, or wrongly accused, remember Maria's story, and Daniel's courage to stand up when it wasn't his fight. Because sometimes, the world changes when one quiet soul decides enough is enough.